Good Tuesday morning. It's January 18th, 2022. This is going to be the weather outlook based on the forecast model. So I'm going to share some model looks over the next couple minutes. Okay, we're going to start off here with the GFS, is the American model, looking at the forecast as we kind of move into the future and what it's showing over the Mid-Atlantic region. So this is based on this morning's run. So we're going ahead and going in time, and on Thursday, I should say, morning, we see that rain could change over to snow. Looks like it's going to move out of here fairly quickly and not do too much. And this is from the American model, so we just got to see. I do think we'll see some bit of snow. How much, I'm not sure. I'm going to say maybe up to an inch on some of the grassy spots, if there's grass, or onto the top of the current snowpack. We'll have to see. The rain shouldn't be much either, so I don't think it will go away. Now, as we go out in time, the question is, you see this moisture here to the south, and exactly what it's going to do. The GFS, the American model, and the European model are 100% out of sync. They do not line up at all. So I'll show you what the European shows in just a minute. So we just go ahead and forward. What I can tell you is all this blue here, these really cold looking temperatures into the future. So, and then way off in the future, maybe some type of something. That's so far off, 300s. You may as well forget whether or not that's right. So that's the American model. So how about a different look? So this first, I'll go with this Thursday morning to see what's happening. So again, this front and this wave is going to form along here. So we see a mixture, maybe of some sleet, freezing rain, a little bit of snow Thursday morning. Again, doesn't look like a big deal here. Snow kind of blossoms a little bit to the south, so they may get a little more. But you see some moisture already starting to increase here as we head into, now this is, we know Wednesday now, but as we go forward, now we're talking about Saturday. And you can see that Saturday, this storm system or something is developing here along that front that went to the south. And this just gets crazy, because after this, we go boom, here we are, major snowstorm heading up the eastern seaboard. This is what you would call a classic snow track. I think snow is probably even underestimated here because it's such a perfect snow track and everything is perfectly right. It even tucks in there at the end and kind of pulls a little bit to the west as it really amplifies. So what does that look like? Well, first of all, I just want to talk about the temperatures. Temperatures are extremely cold. We're talking teens during this entire event. We are in the coldest part and section of the storm. So that means snow ratios, meaning the amount of moisture to actual snow accumulation, will be optimum. So what I'm going to show you is a 10-to-1 mix here for the ratio. But honestly, 10-to-1, it would probably be more like a 15-to-1 or 12-to-1 ratio. So that means, again, for every tenth of an inch, usually we get an inch of snow. Now it's saying for every tenth of an inch, we get probably an inch or 1.2 inches of snow. This is what I'm suspecting. Please remember this is model output, and you saw the GFS, the American model, and this European model are just totally out of sync, and I'll show you what I mean. So here's the accumulation as we go into later this week. So this is the Thursday event. So like I said, a little bit of more snow in the southern areas as the precipitation starts to blossom. Then boom, we see the moisture really increase. This is snowfall as we go into Saturday, and boom, this is a major storm here up the East Coast. And I would say it's definitely probably concentrated a little farther south and east than it probably will end up being, but I don't know. I mean, this could be right on. But we're seeing 16, 18, 19, 20 inches of snow out of this thing. This is a major snowstorm. For us, I mean, it's showing like 7 to 10 inches, but again, I think it would probably be 10 to 12 easy just because of the snow ratio, as I mentioned before. So, again, this is European. This would be a major snow and rival probably, because areas that do get all this moisture on a 15-to-1 or 10 or 12-to-1 ratio, I mean, we're talking double-digit snows for sure, if not 20 or so inches of snow where this snow band ends up. Like I said, I think it's probably a little further south and east with all the precipitation, and that this will probably blossom further west just because of where the system comes on shore. But that's what we're looking at in general. Now, the last thing I want to show is just temperatures and how ridiculously cold it gets. So what I want to start off with is the anomaly. So how much colder than normal is it actually going to be? And so this is starting off today, and these are on 24-hour increments or 12-hour increments, I believe. So we see as we kind of go in the future, we see it gets really cold here, and this is into Wednesday. Now, front's going to come through. The front's going to actually warm us up into Thursday morning, then switches back to colder because that's the actual Arctic air that's going to start pouring into here. And man, it's going to get cold, as you see here. Here up in Pennsylvania, 20, 25 below normal. That is negative numbers. We'll show you those in a minute. But everybody is, really, really cold. And then as the storm comes in during the daytime, it's super cold. So this is crazy cold. I would not be surprised again on these. Look at this, 26 below, 25 below normal. Overnight, I mean, come on, that could be below zero for sure. We'll have to see. Now, it does look like it warms up a little bit next week, but that's before yet another Arctic intrusion comes right after. And then look at this. If this comes true, it's ridiculous. Probably the coldest air we've seen in many, many years. Temperature's definitely going below zero. So that's what I mean. In the long range, we look to turn very cold. This is a European model. Really quick on the GFS, and we'll be done. All right, same deal. Remember, temperatures in the daytime now are in the low 40s for highs, or even, low 40, low to mid 40s as a highs. So when you're seeing temperatures depart this far, you have to know it's really, really cold. Again, here comes the front through. This is GFS, American model. Created the European before, but it is backing up these colder than normal temperatures into the weekend, into early next week, especially with the snowstorm system. Now we slightly warm again as the next Arctic front push comes through, and then boom, here it comes. Confirmation that in this time period, we're going to see some of the coldest air we've seen in a very long time. And honestly, it kind of is unrelenting. Of course, we warm up again, but then boom, here comes cold again into the area. So honestly, this is the coldest period I've seen in a long time, followed by a lot of waves of low pressure system and the Arctic front riding not too far down to the south of us. Any waves that could form and bring us some snow. We'll have to see. And as has been the case for the most of this winter, even though the storms look like they're really far south and east, they tend to move or bump north. That doesn't mean it has to. It just means that seems to be the trend. So I would think that we'd see the same. All right, 7 minutes of me just blabbing on. Hope it was useful and worthwhile. Thanks. It's been Loudoun County Weather Outlook.